As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOA.
Good morning, viewers. You are welcome to National Orientation Agency Dialogue, what we popularly refer to as NOA River State Dialogue. Democracy is government by the people, for the people, and people. Now, this democracy, if you look at the definition, is simply referring to government of inclusion, government by popular view. Now, the grand norm of our country, the 1999 Constitution, in the wisdom of the people that wrote the Constitution, take the age of which you can vote and be voted, you can vote for 18 years, and also take the age of contesting some key elective position. Now, that law technically, bans some people from contesting elective position, shun them out. And so, we begin to ask the question, where is inclusiveness? Where is the government by the people, for the people, and for the people? Where is it? Where does it exist? However, in the midst of all these questions, something historic happened. On May 31st, 2018, an historic event took place in Nigeria. The event was the signing of the not too young to run bill into law by President Muhammadu Buhari into law. Now, that law prescribed and reduced, the election age. The presidency was reduced from 40 to 30. House of Representatives was reduced from 30 to 25 years. However, it did not change the age, the contesting age for Senate and for governorship. It was retained at 35 years. Now the question is, 4 years down the line, how far our young people have taken advantage of this too young to run law? How well have they taken advantage of it? Particularly now that we are counting down to the 2023 general election. Today, we'll be looking at a very sweet topic, a critical issue. Not too young to run, Act, prospects, and challenges. As usual, I have some eminent, gentlemen with me in the studio to make justice to this topic. On my immediate left, I have High Chief Ambassador Bright ABALI, the ex-officio River State Ethnic Youth Leadership Forum. Sir, you're welcome to the River State Dialogue.
Thank you very much, sir.
And just next to him, I have Comrade Prince AMEZHINIM ATUMA. I hope I did not murder that name, sir.
AMEZHINIM, the right name.
AMEZHINIM ATUMA. Director, ODIO Cooperative Investments and Credit Society Limited. Sir, you're welcome to the River State Dialogue.
Thank you very much.
And my name is Abiyesenbo. I am your anchor person for today's viewers. Now, the reason why we do all of this is to sensitize and to enlighten, and also to hear from you. Keep your views coming. Keep your thoughts coming. Like I usually say, you can take the form of the presenter, put the question directly to the discussant. You can also take the form of the discussant and answer questions, raised by the presenter. But whichever way, let your thoughts, let your comment keep coming. And we're going to, start this beautiful conversation on a light note. I want to put this question to you, High Chief.
Yeah.
Let me start with you, High Chief.
Yeah.
You know, as a High Chief, we'll give you preference. We'll start with you. Because we recognize traditional rulers. Eh?
Yeah.
Now, what is the not too young to run act? What is it all about? You know, not too young to run, not too young to run.
Okay.
You know, we are enlightening people and we're sensitizing people. We want to know. People listening to us there, what is it all about?
Okay, the Not Too Young to Run bill was a bill designed to make the younger generation in Nigeria participate actively in politics. Time passed, the age limited the younger generation from participating in elections. And the bill, as a former youth leader, I was the president general then of all University Youth in Rivers State, and I left the position, and I'm a high chief in Oba Kingdom. I'm a frontline activist on how to have an inclusiveness, particularly on the younger generation, on things happening in Nigerian society. So the Too Young to Run bill came in 2018 when I was serving as youth leader. I remember vividly that 55 youth groups led a protest and gave the president an ultimatum that the bill is very necessary for the younger generation, that he must sign the bill, he must sign it. So the president hitched to the cry of the youth, and I was part of those ones that were agitating from the River State, the southern side of Nigeria, that bill is our interest. So the reduction in the age of the president, also gave people an ample opportunity to participate. The youth will now participate in the age. They're dropping the number from 35 to 30, another elected position to 25. Gives the youth opportunity to run an election from the age of 25. You know, before this time, when Nigeria was military rule, the likes of Kentaro Wiwa, the likes of JT Spiff, they were all leaders and they were occupying position even in tender age. And they did excellently well. The educational system then in Rivers State, when Kentaro Wiwa was a commissioner for education, was splendid. The Spiff time, we have not recorded what the Spiff regime did in Rivers State, even at a young military man. At a tender age in his 20s, he was already a governor. So the younger they give the youth, the earlier they give young people power or position of trust, the better for us. Nigerians are crying that the aged men in politics, they are not giving us, they are not productive. So let us try younger generation. So the Not Too Young to Run bill is a bill that have given the younger generation their right of place. So that is our joy.
Thank you, sir. Prince, Comrade Prince, let me throw this to you. Now, from your interaction and participants' observation, looking at you, a younger person, observation, would you say that the Not Too Young to Rule Act has expanded the political space? If yes, how? If no, why?
Well, I think the answer is yes. Yes, because like my friend there about stated. However, I think there are more challenge developing the performance of the arts. The age bracket has now favored the youth fine. The question to ask ourselves, why still the older generation are taking the space in politics, despite the bill, despite the arts? And that is something that now go beyond the bill, something that now go beyond the arts. And that is been the major problem and the cry of today Nigerian youth.
Now, from your statement, you said yes. Going by the law, it has expanded the political space.
Yes.
And you also said no, by way of asking a question, irrespective of the law, there is some limitations. So what are those limitations? May I know those limitations?
Well, thank you very much. I also want to put it to you that I am currently wearing the shoe of that pain. I understand that this agency is not political, and I am not coming in the capacity of being an aspirant. Currently, I'm an aspirant. I'm a governorship aspirant in Rivers State.
That's interesting, sir.
Yes, believing to win in the next coming election. And what I'm seeing so far is discouragement to Nigerian youth. It looks like the bee is like giving fish at the right hand and taking it back at the right hand, at the left hand. The Nigerian population today, over 65% of the Nigerian population are youths, and they spread across the major political parties. Let's take example of the leaders of those parties in Nigeria. How many youths are chairman of political parties? Currently, the leading party, APC, elected their leaders. We saw what happened with players. Yes, he's a man of over 70 years. Not the chairman himself.
Yes, the chairman of the party.
Not Lawan, the former governor of Nasarawa State.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. What's the name again? Lawan something.
Yes, but so they're not youth. They're not youth. You come to other parties, which is the major opposition party. The man is not youth. And that tells you the reflection of what will happen to players among their candidates. And in those parties, we have youth as dominant numbers of the party. Why are they not carried along to become a chairman of the party? Why are they not carried along to become vice chairman of the party? They end up still occupying a new position, which is the traditional position given to youth. So when they start making noise about not too young to run, people will think that it has actually given a little privilege. Nothing for the youth. Are you talking about the monetization of Nigerian politics? How many youth can be able to purchase form? I learned that the APC said their chairmanship form about 20 million, if I'm right. How many Nigerians can afford to buy a form of 20 million naira? How many Nigerian youth? Today, the PDP is selling presidential form for 40 million. How many Nigerian youth can buy form of 40 million naira? There's how many of them? So it's like.
I can see your emotion, sir. Let me call a little bit. Now, during the end to SARS this thing, and SARS
protest. Yeah.
Protest.
Yeah.
We some youth came together, mobilized themselves, understood themselves, were working in synergy. They raised funds. There were some of them, in fact, that movement gave us an opportunity to see some youth that were doing actually well. They were funding themselves, they were doing everything. Because when you say how many youths, we will begin to say, for me, don't you think that it's a matter of the youth mobilizing themselves well and understanding themselves? Because there are youths actually that are well, there are youths that are doing well. But I think that the youths, have not been able to really mobilize themselves. What's your take? Let us just
The truth about it is that if you are not empowered, you'll be limited to some things. The youth being empowered by the time of the NSAS was because the more population that were in that protest were people whose business or activities have been hampered by the operation of the SARS, and they took to the street. So if it concerns them in their entrepreneurial life, you will see them come out. But if there is no gain attached, sometimes youths don't come out. I've let youth in this state.
Yes, sir,
so now what I'm trying to say is that of the not too young to run bill will not have the same force, because our youth get empowerment from the people that have already looted the treasury, and they give them stipends. And from that stipend, they turn praise singers. They buy them data. They go on social media, they say a 70-year-old man can still run for president, and they are comfortable with it because there is a disconnect in the income, in the financial life of the younger generation, so to say, called the youth. So if they are not financially hampered or affected, they cannot take the street like they did in the NSAS protest. If you watch, most times some people that are into the advanced fee fraud, Yahoo things, they took the street. They were more in number. Some people that are entertainers, they get bullied when they look at their dreadlocks and all those things. They beat them up. They follow them like they claimed that time. They follow them to even POS and take their money, shut down the economy. The boys are in entertainment, be comedians, they dress the way they match their trade. So their trade were affected. So they summoned courage. This is like our last fight. If we don't end SAS will end us. So they came to the street. So they're not too young to run bill without have the same kind of support.
I think you said, let me just come here now. Politics is what determines the economy, the social life, the political life, the economic life. It is where the decision comes from the entrepreneur to the trader to the man, everything you're doing.
Yeah.
And so if they could take their own entrepreneurial life serious, now the place where the decision come down, what you will get, what you will eat, where you stay, the kind of road that you do, in fact, virtually everything. And then the youth of our time that are of age, is that one they will not take? So don't you think that they need some kind of reorientation?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying. You know, I mentioned it because we're trying to be real here. I mentioned why this one will now have a challenge. Are you getting me? So now, NGOs, what we're saying now, NGOs, youth-based NGOs should see a way to take up sensitization program, a door-to-door program. It is supposed to even have started by now, so that the 2023 election, youth will find themselves achieving the purpose of that not too young to run bill.
Hello, sir. Let me just interject to come back to you.
Okay.
The discussion is just getting interesting. But before we go further, let's take our correspondent that is standing by in Kana local government. Bridget, you're on. Please take it up.
Thank you for having me. I'm Bridget Idemio, reaching you from Bori, headquarters of Kana local government area and Rivers South East Senatorial District. I have here a young man, the youth leader of Kabo Zako, Mr. Peter Ikabe. Now, a lot has been said about the not too young to rule act, and there's so many people reacting to it as regards prospects and challenges. What do you have to say concerning this act?
The not too young to rule act is an act that was passed by the National Assembly in 2017, precisely 27 July, and was assented by the President on 31st May 2018. The law amends and relaxed the stringent and discriminatory provision of the Constitution as contained in Section 65, Section 106, Section 131, and Section 177, which reduced the age of contesting the election in Nigeria. It reduced the age of contesting the House of Assembly and that of House of Rep from 30 to 35 years, and from contesting from Senate and governorship from 35 to 30 years, and from president from 40 to 30 years. The law has some prospect for the youth. It gives an avenue for the youth to have to contest, to participate fully in the politics of their country. However, there are some challenges. One of those challenges is godfatherism. For you to be somebody in politics in Nigeria, you must have a godfather. He also has presidential rascality. Like the president, when he passed the bill into law, when he assented into law, he said that the bill will not speak until after 2019 election, which make the bill retrospective. Then they also, in Nigeria, for somebody to contest the position of president, you must have been a former senator, a former governor, a former this, which disabled the youth from contesting.
You've heard it all. So back to you, Abiye. Thank you.
Thank you, Bridget, for your incisive report. Just before we join Bridget, from Kana local government, we have Another amiable gentleman just came into the studio to join this conversation today, and he's no other person than Ambassador Evangelist IKIRIKO ADOKIARIYE DAWAYE. He is the National Coordinator Coalition for Religious Youth Council. Sir, you're welcome to the University Dialogue.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Make yourself comfortable. You know, just before we want to know how are we happy that there's a law like this that has given us an opportunity, you know, to actually contest for presidency, to contest for House of Representatives, and all other positions. How aware are they of this law?
Thank you very much, Mr. Boy. To me, if I have to rate it, I think over 90% of Nigerian youths, dedicated ones, are well. I may not be able to say those ones who are somehow in the, let me put it, forest. The American forest or where it's not accessible. Because a lot of NGOs actually did some work by sensitizing the youth. The law was not silent. When what was passed into law, it was publicly announced. It was in the, on the public media that certain law have been passed to favor Nigerian youth. To me, I think the law is no longer our challenge. Awareness that we have the non too young to run acts, it's not our major challenge anymore. Our major challenge, just like the seven suggested, talked about it, and the High Chief also made justice to it. We still have the marginalization, I call it marginalization, of the older generation. I put this in a place like between the slave master and the slave. And that is why you do find out today that even being aware of their rights, they find it difficult to take that opportunity. And being the reason I already stated, he has talked about confederalism, he has talked about you turning to ordinary praise singers. My brother, go to social media, you see youth praising the older politicians. Those who are campaigning for them are all youth, forming different coalitions, supporting one of the older generation or the. They will say their fellow youth. They don't care about their fellow youth because they believe that the fellow youth cannot give them money. That's what they believe. But when they mention the name, oh, that man has been a former governor, he has money, let him come. The people will be struggling how to see the man so that they can support him. Yes, but their own fellow youth is there, they don't want to look at it. This is the same people will come and cry tomorrow. Oh, the things is not happening right, no employment, no this. In fact, I think that in Nigeria we are the major problem of our problem. We are the problem of ourselves, not the leaders. The beast, it's not the leader. The beast is meant to be the people. The people should be able to take challenge of their own future, not the leader putting it through for you. In Nigeria, we still have leaders telling us go out and vote. It's not you know that voting is your right. Participating in politics is your right. It's not you're not giving. It's not somebody that gives you something. It is your own right. Nobody should tell you to go and vote. Nobody should tell you to come and contest. We have a situation currently where we have that the governor of the state has bought all the forms from the House of Assembly to even to governor, and will decide whoever you give the form to. And the same youth are there, and they are saying it, and they are supporting these things. Tomorrow they will cry. I mean. In fact, I look at Nigerian society as a society that you live in pretense. People pretend to live in society. And that's why we see a lot of things happening in Nigerian society. Because we are not fair to ourselves. We are not fair to ourselves. If we are fair to ourselves, look at Nigeria, we were able to fight the military government. They were able COMRADE sampled themselves in various institutions and they fought the military government. The military would have handed over to democracy if the youth didn't rise to fight them. But today, how possible, or why is it that the youth have not done the same thing to this democracy? Because they have accepted their position as slaves. Nigerian youth today are slaves of Nigerian democracies. And I quote that this is said by Prince ATUMA, that the youth today have become slaves to Nigerian democracy. And I can tell you that and the solution is difficult. Solution where the people decided to betray their own self for mini gains or small money, small 5 naira money. That is why we find it difficult that this country to make development.
Please, I can see you're very emotional there, and you see, High Chief, I just want to say this, some people have argued that they're not too young to run the dead and arrival, because it is they believe that it is inconsistent with the grand norm of the country, which is the 1999 Constitution. Because they say that the law, the young to not to run act, is inconsistent with the grand norm of the 1999 Constitution. Why the 1999 Constitution prescribed 18 years to vote, to be able to vote, and then 40 and 30 for election. This not too young to run act is prescribing a different thing, which is inconsistent with the guy, and it is said to the level of inconsistency, the law will be void. What's your take? Is it really true that the law is void, that is dead on arrival?
No, it's not going to work out saying the law, the bill is dead on arrival, because there are a lot of issues on the Nigerian Constitution. Elites and technocrats, good health, have said that the Nigerian Constitution needs to be revisited. And if this bill is among one of those issues that are seen as one of the things that are having incoherency with the Nigerian Constitution, we are going to fly with it, because the nation, many things have gone wrong. Nigeria is still flying with them. So we'll fly with the bill, because this one concerns the youth. And I see some kind of workability in it, because the likes of Sowore, a young, lively man, have been persistently gunning for the office of the president. A lady have also declared to run for the president. In time past, it was a reserved team for elderly people. So now you can see that even like my friend here have just made known his intention to run for governorship. So you can see that the bill particularly has really given us some level of awareness. But we have to continue, because the problem itself is on the side of the youth. If we don't take up the street to awareness and sensitization, people will not know that they have prepared a meal for us to go and eat. So sensitization is what I'm calling on every youth in this region to take it serious. Enough of aged men giving off peanuts. We are co-beneficiaries of the nation's economy. The treasury belongs to all of us. So the earlier we take it from our grandpas, the better.
The earlier we take it from our grandpas, the better. At this junction, we are going to join our correspondents who is, patiently waiting from Okrika local government area. Bushi, okay, well now you're on. Please take it up.
Thank you, Mr. Abiye Senebo. My name is Bushi Okebuno with National Orientation Agency in Okrika local government area. The Not Too Young to Run is an act of parliament which was sought to reduce the age limit for running for elective office in Nigeria. The aim was intended to help usher in younger leaders and give them an opportunity to represent the government in governance and in decision making. With such an act in motion, there are bound to be challenges. To discuss the topic, Not Too Young to Rule Act, Prospects and Challenges, I have here with me Mr. CRYC Ogan. He is the youth leader of Ilalamukun War Canoe House in Oganama, Okrika local government area. Sir, please, what's your take on the issue?
Thank you very much. We're so grateful to hear that act, that young men will be given chance to rule the nation. But come to think of it, how many of the political parties will give us that chance? When you look at their primaries, when you look at even collecting the form to rule this country, where they start talking of millions of naira just to pick an intent form. But when you look at the formation of the party, where they have their big fathers that say they have the party, they will not even allow the young man to come out. Where would the young man get the millions to buy an intent form? We think they should give us the chance and leave us to rule this country. But thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you. Over to you, Mr. B.
Yeah, Bushio Kebuno, thank you for your incisive report. Yeah, thank you very much. Just before we go, we were just talking about the awareness, but let me take you on this, sir. The ambassador, I'm an evangelist, sir. Let's just take you on this. Now, is there a positive correlation, between the Not Too Young to Run Act and democracy on one hand, and on the other hand, free, fair, and credible election on the other hand in Nigeria? Are these variables complementary or not? We did not do it's an inclusive act, so to speak. So is there a correlation between it and democracy? Then on the other hand, a correlation between it and a free, fair, credible election? Sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that the Not Too Young to Rule bill is a strategic framework to meet the developmental standards of the youth. As a religious youth leader, I will clearly tell you that there is no compromisable relationship between democracy and the bill. This bill was introduced out of the 1999 Constitution as to amend 67, 177 and other sections of the bill of the Constitution of Nigeria. But the bill has an error. So I always say that it has nothing to impact for the youth. One, we have come to understand that there is reduction of age as an opportunity for you to participate. But was there any restriction of age for the elderly to participate? Nigeria is a nation. As a nation, as a society of its own, ruled by ourselves, why not they make provision for also the limit of age? If you are bringing it to youth, there are people that are supposed to bow out. In civil service, we have the 60 years to bow out as a borderline for retirement. Until now, President Muhammadu Buhari came with 5 years for teachers, strictly for teachers. Then in political scene, a retired man is supposed to rest, is now coming in to be elected for or be appointed as somebody. Then how can this act or bill be working? Democracy cannot accept it. Does the bill have a limit or an order given to political parties as a charge that you must do this? Does the bill have a provision for INEC that you must accept certain positions strictly that youths must occupy? Just go to the political parties and their national platforms and look at the age of the youth leaders. They are all above 45 years. While the Nigerian Constitution and the National Youth Development Plan recently launched by the Federal Minister of Youth and Sports Affairs is stating 27, IS 35. Then we are appointing somebody of 45, 50, 60 years as national youth leader for a senatorial or for a senatorial zone or for a geopolitical zone. It is an error. So the bill, just as it was earlier said, that it arrived late or it was already dead on arrival. It is a strategic plan to move Nigerian youth. To me.
Thank you, Mr. Evangelist. Yes, you have opened a chapter to they said they reduced the age, but is there a limit to the age where you cannot contest also? That's a very vital thing that we're going to explore when we come back. But the phones are buzzing. Let me just take comments. The reason why we're here is knowing that the people out there are viewing us and they are making their comments. I want to say, former Onachuku Obele Linda, so thank you for streaming live with us. Beautiful, thank you. We are glad to know that you're there for us. Why Kana Command? I can the price of intent nomination form is another hindrance for the participation of youths in politics, because at this point, political godfatherism comes in, which disable the youth. Thank you very much. They've already sounded here. For somebody saying that, in fact, it's not too poor to run. It should be called not too poor to run. So somebody has already noticed that here. All the same, thank you for your this thing. Chinwe Zita, thank you for streaming live with us. Douglas Madison, the problem with governance is Nigeria is not age, but having leaders with requisite leadership traits devoid of ethnicity and nepotism. Thank you very, very much here for your wonderful talk, Madison. Chiwetida Onka, thank you for streaming live with us. Why can I command? By this act, a person must be at least 35 years of age to be elected president or vice president, 35 to be senator, 30 to be a state governor, and 25 to be a representative in parliament or member member in the state house of assembly. Thank you for your thoughts there, Peter Ekabe. Christina Oma, you're watching your view live with us, so beautiful. Thank you for being there for us. Charles William Obara, many youths will find it difficult or constrained to contest most elected positions due to the exorbitant account placed for nomination funds by political parties. We have exhaustively discussed that here. It is more like giving, according to my brother, giving food with right hand and taking it with left hand back. Edwin Ijoma, you're watching live with us. Oh, thank you very much. Nwokoma MLA, this is very important topic. Change the mindset and vote wisely for forthcoming election 2023 governorship election. Oh, thank you very much for streaming live with us. Glory Inime Righteous, thank you for streaming live with us. Patricia Desenbo, oh beautiful, you're streaming live. God bless you there. This is from Rosemary Abbey Art. If the government wants the youth to run for any elected position in Nigeria, the political parties should ensure that they cut the amount for the collection of nomination funds by 90%. By 90%. Oh, thank you very much for your view, dear madam. Thank you very much. Manigo Sotoyen is streaming live with us. Patricia said, well done, Menere. Oh, thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. So, let us come back. Let us come back. Now, I want to put this question to you, our brother. Are the younger generation of Nigeria taking advantage of this not too young act? You know, because no matter what it is, it has given you a grant. You know, journey of 1,000 million miles start with a step, isn't it? Sure. Yes. So the law has been made. The law is there. So mean that the youth can actually gather themselves. The youth can make inroads. They can make attempt. Are they taking advantage of this not too wrong act, or they are still lying down, pitying themselves that the money is too much, this is too much, this is too much. In fact, now why you they play us this rule now that? So take advantage. Are they taking advantage of this?
The answer is yes. Why yes? And you observe in the recent election, that was 2019, you will find out that most of the parties outside the APC and the PDP, when you find their candidates, it's called that is youth. I get to the point now. Go to the media, social media, you find out that most of these parties outside the major parties we have, they are youth. And none, in fact, outside the APC and the PDP, emerge winners in their state. Even from the point of local government council, in their own local government, they could not win. The question will not ask you if it says when the snake bites you one in your part of the leg, you will be careful. At times you will see rope in the night, you say, it looks like the same snake that bites you, so you be very careful. So when you do that, you find out that most of the colleagues, youth, in your sex, have tried to take advantage of this bill. And nothing come up. That's my language in the River State, sorry. Nothing come up. You have that capacity, that motivation to say you want to have context. The answer is clear no. I've said it here. When I called some of my friends who were dogged enough to take advantage in the last recent election, I said, comrade, come, let's do the discount. They said, comrade, go first, go to your back. Money where I spent that time I never recover half. Some sold their properties to do tax clearance. Some sold their property to print. I've said it here before that Nigerian politics have been monetized, and that is the one thing we should solve first. Not what you don't run to this thing. How do we make sure that our politics is not monetized? I am coming out for governorship for Rivers State come 2023. With my little resources I have, I know how much I have spent so far. I am now beginning to look at my journey. I will even try to contest. Sometimes I ask myself, why do you even pick this challenge? I'm not going to have a lecture that I'm not started. With my little consultation, I am spending money in a daily basis. And my followers are not coming to support me. They are still coming to support them because I can't give them money according to them. So that's why I said it before, that Nigerian situation has become a matter of you loving the slave, loving their slave masters. And that's why I'm not surprised when I see you, they say they want to match 1 million, 10 million, 40 million match for one politician who have looted our collective fund. And they knew. And that's why I said that our problem in Nigeria is becoming insurmountable. And for now, I still don't have solution on how youth can make it in Nigerian politics without confederalism, without money. What are you no, look at the income of Nigerian average Nigerian youth. You say here, Mr. B, that some of the Nigerians are doing well. Yes, some are doing well. But let them come and contest the election. Did you know how much it takes to pay a party agent? I'm running for governor for Rivers State. You know how many people have in Rivers State? And I'm expected to pay each of my party agents. Otherwise, they will be compromised and they put in it. You know how many billion that amount? Where would I get that money from? Now I'm loved by my people. They're ready to vote for me. But there are somehow situations that will not favor me. In fact, the politicians have started planning how to still maneuver the electronic voting. Don't be surprised. I've heard stories. The plan is already on ground. How they can maneuver the electronic voting. And you find out that over the time, the people, you cannot exempt the people from this problem. I've said it here, I've said that before, and I'm still saying it again, that the people are the major problem, not the politicians. We, the people of Nigeria, are a problem of ourselves. Because we have loved our slave masters. And that's why when you see Prince ATUMA, they say this point, child, and go for like him, but you no go win. Yes, go for like him, but the people already say you no go win. Why did they say so? That is the question we just ourselves.
Yeah, why do they say so? That is the question we ask ourselves. They love the candidate, but the candidate cannot win. But who are the people that will make the candidate win? These are the people. So why is that ceiling? Why that barrier? We'll still come to that discussion. But let me take up our high chief here with this very question. Now, would it be right to say that before the passage of the Not Too Young to Run Act, Bill 2 and Act of Parliament of Nigeria, a greater percentage of Nigerian population, which largely make up the youth. They turn out.
We have talked about the impediment, the thing that is limiting the youth not to participate, but it's not an outright ban.
No. What I'm saying that before the passage of the law, of this law, Legal Act, can we say that majority of the youth and greater percentage of Nigeria were shown out from contesting?
The constitution was not favorable to them then, and this amendment have given them an edge to participate. Like my brother was saying here, before we even go into succeeding in the act, our institutions, as we're going back to sensitize our youth about how to participate in the not to benefit from the Not Too Young to Run bill, our institutions have to be upright, because it's not only on national election that Not Too Young to Run bill will apply. I contested as chairman in the last 17th April local government election by the Mandoni local government under ADC. I contested with a PDP person. It was a keen contest. As a very popular person and a grassroots person. The youthful population, and somebody have served as a youth leader in Oberland and coming to serve in the state as the President General of all youth. So the support was massive. But nobody could tell me why I did not win. Because we could not see election materials. We could not see the systems were just so faulty. RISEC did rubbish. You understand me? So if we want to succeed as youth, the institutions have to be checked. I tell you, on election day, you see in polling unit, I was winning. Everywhere they go, I was winning. But at the count of it, I now asked RISEC, how many votes did I score in general? RISEC said they've declared results. That was not even part of the election. I was angry, and I took them to court. All the money I spent with all my councillors I sponsored in the election, everything was a total sham. I took them to court. We stayed in the court. It was in news. ABALI Bright and Vincent Job were in news. It then ended up that they announced all PDP. So can you tell me possible that PDP, that party, was the most popular party in the 23 local government? So there is fault in the system. If it works in the national, can the authorities and institutions also work and translate the benefit of this not too young to run bill to the state election? Because what we see in Nigeria is if Abia State is PDP and they are conducting an election, all the House of Assembly members PDP, all the councillors PDP, the local government chairman will be PDP. If it is also an Abga state, that is how it happens. If it's an APC state, that is what you will see. What we want to ask is that for this bill to succeed, which we will know it is for youth, because my real counting of Nigerian for the youth still favors people from 45 years down. Are you getting me? It favors from 40 years down. And even to 50 down. But the aged men, those I call the grandpa and the grandma, they should leave the stage for us so that we can come into the leadership and benefit from the not too young to run bill. Because if the benefit of the bill do not translate from national election to state election, it's useless. Very, very useless, because a state election cannot be run. The governor or the incumbent party feed in candidate, and there's a put-in candidate. Every other thing should be 40 to the end. We don't have money as youth. We don't have money as aspirant. And coming to the part, sometimes you find the youth going into little parties, new parties. They cannot find their way into the major parties. They go into the little party, and the little parties will not succeed.
Now, well, let me say this. Our evangelist raised a very pertinent point here. He said the age was reduced, but there was no limit of how, say, when you're up to 80, please, you're bad. No more contesting. Let's look at that. How flawed could that law be, or let us look at what's your take. Let me just not from that line. Now this law, they said they reduced from 40 presidency from 40 to 30, House of Representatives from 30 to 25, which was very fantastic because you see how some 30 years old men that have gotten their PhD, married, have family, 25 years that have gotten masters, CEOs of companies, so they can handle those conditions. But up there, which means that if you're up to 100 and you have money, you can still contest. So how do you see that? What's your take about that? Let me don't discuss in that line. I know you want to talk about that thing, but you come to that. Just our time is started.
Well, I think the suggestion, in fact, is a good one. Yeah. But however, I think it's going to take the same process of passing through the P stages, synthesizing the youth again. Let us clamor for the age limit for those who are above 30 age not to run for any political office. I think that's what we need to do at this point. We need to sensitize the public. We need to meet our House of Rep or House Honorable to introduce a new bill. I think that would be of the very interest of the country. That one will solve a lot of problems for us.
Let me take you on this. How can you see, because of all things we're talking here, they said the law has been passed, is there, but in this sense, the impediment, the invasion ATUMA, how can we really translate this not too young to run act into reality? Because I mean, where there is a will, there is always a way.
Thank you.
Yes.
We can use it actively if the Senate and the Federal House of Representatives we are given the power to ask INEC to work on it. It should be re-amended and a clause be quoting Senate, the INEC, and all electoral bodies in every state to be ordered so that when someone is coming in, they will know this person is a youth. And political parties should also be given a guideline of age. Then, on that note, without age limit, at the apex restriction and the lower one, but I still say another one. You are telling somebody of 25 years to come and contest House of Assembly. Has he passed through any process before? There are some 25 years that have not even finished secondary school for the past 3 years.
And there's also some 25 years that are CEOs of
yes, they are there. But
so the law is fair.
Yes, the law is fair. There. But the issue is when you give them 25 years, they go to the streets, bring those their killers, their assassins, their armed robbers, which they will use as instruments of extortion in the office, and bring them to the system. And when those people come to the system is corrupt. Now I want to clearly state it here that we can only use this when the ministry, both the federal and the states, INEC and the political parties are being cautioned. Go to the ministries, you will see the registered youth bodies, individual youth bodies. Then at the end of the day, when somebody wants to happen, the government will say, we will get the list of youths from the ministry. And when they get there, it's individual youth bodies. Grab from the government to the personal pocket. Call them, they are not there. Call them, they are not there. Only the leader or the secretary and the leader will come. Then which means that body is not existing. So both the corporate affairs, all of them are corrupt people. They should be wiped off and be restructured by the Senate so that this act will be active.
I'm coming to you. I'll come to you so that for your parting words, time is fast, but quickly let me just take some persons that are streaming live. Zobare, thank you for streaming live. Gift Moses, it's good to know that you're there. Thank you very much for streaming live because as in Mary Akwetem is you're also streaming live. So thank you very much. Mary Akroma, oh beautiful, thank you, wonderful, because that is what they will use to frustrate the young ones that want to experience, political position to elect. Thank you very much for your thought there. Evangelist, time is not of essence. When discussions like this, from time flies. Otherwise, we don't mind to stay 2 hours here. What is your parting shot? What is just your life?
My parting shot is this. Let the government know that it's not every youth that can possess power. You are an applicant. How do you pay tax? And so far as you are an applicant and you don't have tax, which means you cannot contest. So some issues like that, there should be an improviso so that youth will come in free. But if such things are not there,
should be proviso so that you can come in freely.
Yes.
Your pattern word.
I think power is not freely given. In a challenge that is called 2023, there's the ones challenge themselves. I can tell you the truth that most of the serving members in some state house assemblies are from the group. He said they will use those voices, those talks that kill for them, that do some more of evil job for them. They will now give them form and they will now say, youth in the assembly, see youth in the assembly. I did not in the assembly. These youth are not the youth we are talking about. They are youth that sitting there are the youth that agent of the governors, agent of the politicians that do the beating. These are the people that they give form. The true youth are not given chances. So I'm calling on the true youth of Nigeria that power is not freely given. Come out from your dungeon and let's challenge them come 2023 so that we can get our society back. Our society has been stolen by the older generation and we need to buy it back from them. Thank you.
I will end the conversation this way by saying that the Nigerian nation is backward until we engage our youth to take the center stage. The nation will not get its right place. In many nations in China, Asia, everywhere, they are surviving by the younger generation. The brain is open to put things right. Nigerian nation to learn from that. Let the younger generation be given the ample opportunity to take over. God bless you.
Viewers, I want to thank you very much that you're with us. I want to thank you for your wonderful participation and thought there. Thank you very much. This is where we draw the curtain for today in NOA River State Dialogue. Evangelist, thank you for coming, for giving us your time. We appreciate it. Thank you very much. Comrade, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. I know you're very emotional. But we know. I just want to thank you. Because you've said that already there is an awareness. And I want you to go back and walk through that awareness, gather the youth, talk to them. No matter what it is. Where there's a will, there's always a way. Thank you for coming on. Ashif, I want to thank you for honoring with your position.
Thank you, sir.
It is not the traditional rulers are not pulled out from their domain,
Thank you,
but you decided to honor us with your position. Thank you very much. I know when we call you next time, you want to come to oblige us. Viewers, this is where we're running up for today in the River State Dialogue. Thank you that you're here with us. Join us same time next week, knowing that you're there. I want to say this. Every day we are counting down to the 2023 general election. They say, votes will not count. The votes are not count. The votes are not count. Have you seen anybody taking his money to buy something of no value? Politicians go around, they want to buy it. They give you clothes, they give you everything, which means it counts. There is value in your vote. Go and take your vote and participate wisely. Don't sell your vote because it is your strength. You can see the comrade there talking with energy and strength. Youth, take advantage. Gather yourself, put yourself together. Be aware of yourself. Galvanize yourself and know that it is only with your PVC that you can speak in the election. Until we come your way next time. My name is AMEZHINIM. Your anchor person for the River State Dialogue. Keep it locked. Thank you.